Guys, we're live. Hello, Falcon fans out there in the Falcon universe. This is a quick update. We had to get together. I got Miss Carrie from One Time for the Fan, and hey, man, occasionally she does a lot of shows with me. And I got Miss Lisa Shepard, who occasionally does a lot of shows with me. So, hey, welcome everybody. How you doing, Miss Carrie? How you doing, Lisa? Y'all all right? Everybody good?
I was all right until I got that tweet.
Man,
Right.
we are
I was fine
discussing
until
the
I got
Kirk
that tweet
Cousins
confirming
update.
what we all suspected. Kirk wants out of
Yeah,
Atlanta. So now that it's
yeah.
official, get that man off my team.
Hey,
Falcons,
so
get him
what?
off the team.
Hey, what we're talking about is Kirk met with the owner last night. That's right, the owner, not the coach,
I think it was
not
Wednesday
the
night.
GM.
Wednesday night.
A Wednesday night, he met with Arthur Blank. So he pulled. Essentially, he's trying to bring the Jerry Jones custom here to the ATL. And you know what? Hey, Raheem. Hey, Terry Fondano. You guys go over there to the kiddie table. Let the grown-ups talk. I want to have a discussion. Miss Lisa, I know you don't have a lot of time. Give me your thoughts on this.
My thing is this. I just don't like how Cousins has moved since he
Yeah,
got to the Falcons. You
yeah,
know, the first thing, when we drafted Penix, he releases a statement through his agent talking about how he was blindsided. Sir, that's not how we do things here. If you got an issue, you keep it in house, talk to the appropriate parties.
yeah.
So that was, strike number one. And of course, we lost a draft pick with him having loose slips. And then, the interview on Good Morning Football, where he discloses, that he had been playing injured. So it's just, this man got to go. I mean, for those fans that were thinking that, no, we got to keep him. We paid him all this money. It's going to be too much of a hit. This man has to be out of our locker room. He doesn't want to be here. He wants to start. He will not be starting for the Atlanta Falcons. Therefore, he needs to just go ahead and move on. And whatever, cap hits and, financial consequences happen, then they just happen. But this man cannot be in our locker room in 25. So now that he's made this public, then let's grant him his wish so he can go on to whatever is next for him. But it won't be with us.
Gary, how you
That's it
feel
for
about?
me.
No, Lisa, I'm in line step with you. Carrie, how you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm with Lisa. Like, you've been moving real sketchy since you've been here, honestly. Like, he's been nothing but a headache. Um, and yeah, that like Lisa's to her point, that's not how we move here. Like, the Falcons are known to keep things in house. We don't have players speaking out to the media. It's just, and that's exactly what he did. He spoke to national media and then refused to speak to D-Led to, ad- basically, clear up what he was trying to say about he was hurt and he's going to get better, wants a new life in the league. I think, it was basically like a standoff. Like I think our guy Debo Vibes had said, like between the Falcons and Kirk Cousins. And I think he basically folded his card. It's a game of poker and he folded and he literally met with Arthur Blank because he realized, yeah, I don't want to be a backup. I do think it's weird. Why are you going above the head coach and the GM and
Right,
meeting with the owner? Sounds like by himself. Like that's shady too. Like,
right.
I don't know, that's very weird. But it sounds like, I mean, honestly, I didn't think that. I've been saying this multiple times. I don't think he's gonna be a Falcon in 2025. I never believed, and I said nothing against Terry Fontenot, but I just didn't believe that he was gonna be a Falcon in 2025. I didn't believe he wanted to be a backup, and I don't think it made sense to have him as a backup in the locker room. I think it was just Terry had to say things like that just to, you know, hope to get a trade partner. And it sounds like Kirk might fold. And what I mean by that is that he met with the owner saying, yeah, I do want to be traded. And hopefully the, meeting went well. And maybe say, okay, well, we'll work with you to basically get you out of here, like get you traded to a team where you can be a starter. So, I mean, that could be good news for us because instead of cutting him like I anticipated, maybe we will get a trade partner, someone like the Giants or the Browns. So that's my thoughts.
I wonder, if how that sit down went, right? Like I wonder if
Oh
Arthur
man.
Arthur sat down with Kirk and it was like that scene in New Jack City where he was like, "We made you, we gave you the corners, we gave you the shopping malls, and you got cute. So you had to get spanked. Like it's like move, counter move, right? So Terry comes out end of the season, says, you know what? Hey, we're fine with Kirk as the backup. It's okay. Kirk has his little spat, goes out to the Super Bowl. Is like, you know what, guys? I was hurt. They're liars. I was hurt. They made me do it. No, he didn't say that, but he did say I was hurt. And then Raheem comes back and double down and like, you know what? Kirk's ass is going to be number 2. You heard it here first. I said it. That's the way it's going to be.
Well,
and then Wednesday
the fact
night.
of the matter is now we know. Now we know. We've heard it from credible sources that that's what it is.
Right.
So now both parties, can move forward. Hopefully, there's somebody out there that wants to trade and doesn't want to wait for us to cut him. So maybe we can get something for the guy, but he got to go. I mean, he's out of here. So all y'all with Kirk Cousins jerseys, I hate it for you, but it is what it is.
I wonder. Like this honestly, y'all, this feels like a sit your butt over there in the corner. Like I can hear my mom like, nah, my mom will whoop my ass. This feels like oh, you gonna do that? Oh, you gonna do that? You gonna do this in public? Okay. Like I remember I had to be 3. Yeah. I had to be 3. And I wanted these. My mom took me to Buster Brown. You remember Buster Brown? My mom took me to Buster Brown and they had these shoes I wanted. And I did the whole fallout thing or whatever. And my mama beat my ass. She got me right there. You want to act up? You gonna get it right there. I think Lisa had to go, y'all. Oh wait.
Okay.
Here's Jack Spade.
Okay. Oh, let's go.
This man needs no introduction.
There
we got Mr. Jack Spade. Jack Spade, what's up, man?
What's the word?
Hey man, we talking Kirk Cousins and the war. The war that's going on now between Kirk and the Falcons, right? So to summarize, Falcons came out and said Kirk's going to ride the pine. Kirk went down to the Super Bowl, was like, you know what? I really was hurt. Terry Fontenot came back and said, no, he's really going to ride the pine. And Wednesday night, Kirk meets with the owner. Excuse me? He pulled a Dallas Cowboys Jerry Jones-esque type move and it's like, you know what? Move over, Terry Fontenot. Move over, Raheem. The grown people are speaking, which is tantamount to disrespect. Okay. And he tells Arthur he wants to be traded. And Arthur tells him, and I quote, we're going to do what's best for the team, which may not be necessarily to trade him. But Jack, give me your thoughts. How you feeling? What are your thoughts on this?
So the report came out today, right?
Yep.
And we did a podcast last night. We did a podcast this morning.
Right.
And there was no news of the report, correct?
Correct.
So to know that, behind the scenes, this is what happened on Wednesday, it's kind of like what we were saying on the podcast recently with what's going on with the Falcons behind the scenes, that moves are being made and things are being done that we do not know about.
Right.
To hear 2 days later that Kirk now has met with, Arthur Blank, to my knowledge, I still haven't seen the report. And Terry, you're speaking on it too. Terry Fontenot and Raheem were not a part of this meeting. It's just Kirk Cousins and Arthur Blank. So going past Raheem and past Terry and going straight to the source, going straight to Arthur Blank, it means something. It speaks high volumes, but it's what I said. And I think everybody else kind of agreed on One Time for the Fan earlier this weekend and this morning. You can't have Kirk Cousins out there at training camp in the next couple of months. It's just bad. It's a bad look for the Atlanta Falcons fan base. And then Kerry spoke on it this morning where you have this bonus coming up around the corner. It's a very bad look if you give this man this bonus and keep him here in the city. I've heard Terry Fontenot speak on the level of, hey, I like this guy, will do this, but then again, they might make another move. So to hear that they might want Kirk as a backup is probably just shooting the bird, man. Like you just talking to the fan base behind the scenes. You're working something for him. You're working a deal. That's Now at this point, you have to get him out of here. Kirk doesn't want to be here, right? So we have to get him out of here. Like, we got to move Kirk on. Am I good? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I agree with you. I agree with you, Jack. Right before you joined, I kind of had the same. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
You hear us?
Jack, can you hear us? He can't hear. Jack, can you hear us? Jack Spade.
You might have to jump out and come back in.
You might have
But
to.
yeah, I mean, him and I are kind of on the same page, right? Like, he's kind of saying what I just already said right before he joined, that I don't think I already didn't think, I've told you, I don't think he's going to be he's not going to be in a Falcons uniform in 2025. I said that multiple times. My thing is that this new news is that, because my thing is we were either going to have to cut him, or if we really wanted to get rid of him, right, and maybe not pay him that 10 mil on the 17th of March, we'd have to cut him before then, or maybe the Falcons are really going to double down and not fold and just hope that, just hold on to him. But now with him, it almost feels like it's expedited, right? Like him meeting with the owner, it's like he's trying to get out of here exponentially. So that's my thing about it. This new information, it seems like there's hope that we could trade him and get something for him.
I guess my question is, like, how this feels like a game of chicken, man, and it's escalated. Like, it really feels like, oh, okay, Kirk, well, you sit down. We'll get to you. And this is not going to endear the Falcons to him at all. It's just not. It you know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Right.
From what I know of Terry Fontenot, and I'm not saying he's bitter at all. Terry's professional, but this is not going to endear him to the Falcons. It's not going to endear him to the Falcons at all. Bodie, what's going on, man? How you doing, brother?
Hey, Bodie.
Bodie, you there? Bodie, are you there? Bodie! Bodie's best. What up, Jay Black? What up, Millie Mills? Yeah, we're discussing another Kirk episode. And as the Kirk turns, it's crazy. Bodie, are you there? We can't hear you. If you can hear us, we can't hear you, Bodie. Bodie, are you there? Wow. Okay. Bodie, are you there? Bodie! Bodie, if you can hear us, we can't hear you. But Kerry, I really feel like that's tantamount to disrespect, right? This is the Falcons. We really don't have stuff like this in our organization. Number one, you rarely hear of a player complaining, but to actually go to this extent, like we just don't. You're bypassing the coach and the GM, so you can get your way.
Okay, so can I read the tweet to to all the viewers?
Course,
Jay Black specifically said, hi, hey Jay Black. He wants us to update him on what's going on. So
sure.
A report came out 50 minutes ago from Alec Breer, who is a really well-known senior NFL reporter, so it is a legit source. He said quarterback Kirk Cousins asked for and got a meeting with Falcons owner Arthur Blank on his future. Blank and Cousins had that meeting this past Wednesday night, so 2 days ago. The quarterback wants to go to a place where he can start in 2025. Falcons brass has said it'll do what's best for the team at quarterback. So that is the report that came out. I think it's just very telling that he went over Terry and Raheem's head to go straight to the owner to talk to them, to Arthur Blank. It's also telling that he asked for the meeting. So this is like him. He really wants to get out of here, like ASAP. That's how I take it. You're asking to meet with the owner. And I also think this is telling that, we could possibly get a trade now, get something. I'm not leaving here with nothing, kind of, that quote. I'm leaving here with something. So.
Yeah, well, like I said this morning on our One Time for the Fan meeting, I think that especially with the market that's out there, that's what Kirk is looking at. Kirk is looking at, like, who's out here, right? I mean, it's really not anybody of substance You know what I mean? It's really not anybody with a certain amount of talent that's out there. So he's figuring, okay, if you can get me out here, I probably can get with a good team, or at least, you know what I mean? I can pick my own destiny. And now maybe he's desperate because he's looking at the clock and he's saying free agency starts next week. And
literally Monday.
Does it start Monday or Wednesday?
So Wednesday's the new league year, but technically teams are allowed to start, tampering essentially
on Monday,
2 days before Monday. Yeah.
Okay. And so, you know, Kirk's figuring if you wait until the 16th or the 17th, there's not going to be a lot of choices for me if I want to go and start somewhere. That's what he's thinking. And you know what, Kirk, I honestly think if Kirk had kept his mouth shut, this would have gone a lot differently. That's just my opinion. Right.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But the fact that you get out here and, oh, well, you know what I mean? I really was hurt. Like that is that you broke the code, Kirk. You know what I mean? Like you didn't have to do that. Your agent could have been in the background saying to these teams, Kirk really was hurt, right? And if it gets out that way, then hey, Kirk, that's not you, right? But the fact that you go on national media, you didn't tell any Falcon reporter this, right? You shouldn't have said anything. But you go on national media and you say this after you told these folks, well, it was a clerical error, right? And not only do you do that, but then you take your Falcon shirt off and you put something over the logo, which is petty, okay? And I'm all about the petty. But guess what, Kirk? You get what you give, buddy. My mama used to tell me all the time, you get what you give, okay? You get what you give. You know, when I was a kid and I would freak out and do some dumb shit to get my way, I think one time like I intentionally spilt some milk or whatever on my shirt. She took my ass out with that stinky ass shirt. She did not change it. She was like, you want to do that? Okay. And you know what? I never pulled that again. My mama did not play. No, I'm not going to reward bad behavior. Absolutely not. So, Kirk, you put it out there, right? Hey, man, Terry Fontenot comes back and is like, again, is this thing on? He's going to be the best bench player we have, okay? He's going to be the best second-string quarterback. The plan is for him to ride the pine, okay? Right. And now today, in the next saga of the Falcons versus Kirk Cousins, what does he do? Or on Wednesday at least, this guy, and I'm not going to call him spineless, but it's like he's just shady. You know what I mean? Is it fair to call him shady at this point, Carrie?
Yeah, he's moving shady for sure.
Or am I overreacting? I'm not overreacting, am I? Because I feel like this is shady behavior, right?
No, he's moving sketchy for sure.
Okay.
He's moving real weird.
So now you're like, no, I don't want to talk to you, Terry. I don't want to talk to you, Raheem. Let me go to the owner, which is, again, that is so disrespectful, right? That's like if I want PTO, right? And I go to my boss and my boss's boss, and they typically work it out. And then I decide, you know what? I'm not going to them. I'm going to their boss, right? That's just not going to help me. Like I just got a feeling like, you know, Kirk may end up in Jacksonville. I mean, I don't know. For me, if I'm Terry and Kirk pulls that, I'm sending you to the worst team I can with the best deal we can get.
I know, but remember the no trade clause still.
Well, at this point, here's what I'm thinking. At this point, I'm thinking he may gladly waive it because he may really feel like, oh, these guys are going to keep me. And the reason I say that is because if you pay him that $10 million on March 17th, you're keeping him, Kerry. You're not trading him at that point. Why would you? And you're not even releasing him. If you pay him that $17 million on March the 17th, he's with the Falcons. And apparently Kirk may feel like this is a possibility.
I think, yeah, he might feel that way, but I also think that he could still get cut after that, even though it's kind of sounds crazy, but we could designate him as a post June 1 cut and still save money on his contract. If we do that, and I don't know, it could still happen. I mean, maybe during the draft, I'm not really sure, but it could still happen, even if we end up paying him the 10 mil, even though I don't want to, you know?
Look, if you're gonna cut him, I mean, I'd cut him like to me. If you're gonna cut him, you cut him before March 17th.
They should already cut him then. What's the holdup?
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to find a trade partner, or maybe because we've heard from two different sources now. Because Shefty was talking about this yesterday, and we just heard from Albert Breer, right? I think that's his name. That GMs are coming away with the impression the Falcons are keeping him. That's they didn't just conjure that out of thin air, right? So, and I know it's crazy. I know it's crazy. But let's imagine. I honestly don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what the hell we're doing. Okay, but maybe we are trying to get the best return. Like maybe they're trying to get a second and a third for him. And look, if you can get a second and a third for Kirk Cousins, I'm all over it. Let's do it.
Okay, if that happens, Terry's the best GM ever, but I just don't see that personally.
Well, let me tell you.
Why would somebody give up that much draft capital for Kirk Cousins?
Because look who's on the open market, Carrie. Look at the.
Yeah.
You know what? Hold up. All right.
He's going to be. I mean, he's what, 37 years old. You don't give up that much draft. I mean, maybe a dumb organization, respectfully, but I just don't think like you don't give. There's no hope there. Maybe he would get like a 1-year cheap deal. No one's going to give him a multi-year deal, in my opinion. I mean, that would be wild. He's 37.
All right, Carrie. Let's just look at this. Let's look at who's available, right? Because I think it's I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but
I was thinking more like a fifth if we're lucky.
No. At this point, I would say you might get 2/3 or a third and a fourth.
Really?
But let's look at who's available, right?
Honestly.
Let's look at this list, right? You got Sam Darnold. Okay, you got Sam Darnold. What up, Jack? Jack Spade. Jack Spade is in the building. What to do, Jack? You got Sam Darnold. You got Zach. I played like ass Wilson with the Jets. You got Trey. I never should have had a chance. Lance, right? You got Jacoby. I'm the constant professional. Brissett. You got Tyler. Get him out of here, Heineke. Okay, we don't do well done steaks, Tyler. You got Marcus Butt Fumble 2, Mariota. Drew Lock, Jarrett Stidham, like Justin Fields is okay. Joe Flacco is 90. We're not even getting into Jameis Carey. We're not. Mac Jones, Carson Wentz, Jimmy G. Like what? You've got nothing on the open market.
So Jack, what we're talking about is available quarterbacks, and Will is thinking we could get a second and a third or 2/3 for Kirk Cousins. I think at best maybe it'll be a fifth. I just don't see why anybody would give up so much draft capital for such an aging quarterback who's coming off multiple injuries now, not just Achilles, but a shoulder, an elbow, to make him fall off the face of earth with quarterback play and lose us a season. And not just that, but now he's speaking out against the team. Like he's controversial at this point, honestly. I'm not saying he's a locker room cancer, but I feel like a team might see it as like, he's speaking out against the team. Like he could do this ish to us. Like, so I don't think he's gonna be as I don't know how to put this. Like he's not gonna be as sought after as you think. I'm not giving no 2 seconds or a third.
If you can get a third for Kirk Cousins, you're lucky. If you can get 2 picks for Kirk Cousins right now, you're lucky. You mentioned the injuries. You mentioned, of course, a couple of things I think Falcon fans know about that don't want Kurt on this team. It doesn't seem like, that leader in the locker room presence was there after the Cowboys game. And of course, I was cooking earlier with what I was saying, but, and I got my phone kind of died. And back to talk a little bit more about this now for a second, but because Kirk Cousins is not going to ruin my Friday night. I can tell you that right now. But for Kirk, you can move the comment too as well, T-Will, if you can. I see the comment is
yep.
There you go. For Kirk, having the meeting with Arthur Blank the other night, not speaking with Terry or Raheem and so forth. I mean, maybe tomorrow or Sunday we get news of he did speak to Raheem recently, or he did speak to Terry recently. But you know, there's going to be another press conference coming up where they're going to ask Raheem this stuff, and we hope he doesn't, you know, go around or dodge the question. Or same for Terry too as well. They want him as a backup. If they're speaking that, then maybe Terry some way somehow can keep him here in Atlanta. But I don't think Kirk Cousins wants to be here. But I said it this morning. I'll say it again. You can't have Kirk Cousins run out that tunnel at Flowery Branch for training camp. The move has to be made, and it has to be made in the next 10 days or so. Kerry, it's the 17th or the 16th for the bonus?
17th, the Sunday, yeah. Or is that a Saturday? Sunday, 16th. Sorry. Yeah, we got last day is the 16th. My bad.
Soon. So the time is ticking. So here on One Time for the Fan, and of course, former ATL Sports, and you know, all the respected content creators, they're just waiting for that time where Kirk Cousins is not in the building so they can get some more content. Because that's what we're here doing. And it's actually fun. It's exciting to see where Kirk Cousins could end up, because he won't be, you know, starting here for Atlanta anytime soon. Even looking at the backups, we talked about this before. The backups this year, the free agent quarterbacks, it's pretty bad, right? And a couple of those guys might get a chance to be starting quarterbacks next year due to maybe an injury, or some random quarterback has bad performance play like Kirk Cousins, and Carson Wentz might get another shot, or Joe Flacco might get another shot. You saw Joe Flacco for his age, and you know how he's not the greatest quarterback in the NFL. Joe Flacco's actually not even that good right now, but even for his age, he still had a chance to play about 4 or 5 games last year because Anthony Richardson went down. So Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Drew Lock. You know, some of these names, they're not flashy, they're not surprising. So I wouldn't expect a lot of these teams to go after a Joe Flacco or a Mac Jones or a Carson Wentz over a Kirk Cousins. Now, if Kirk can provide you, you know, a year or two, maybe as being a backup for a decent team, maybe I can see the Chiefs come calling, or the Bills come calling, or something like that. But right now, I don't see that happening. And he mentioned a contender, right? And it's like, who's going to pick up Kurt that's even in the runnings to be decent enough? I mean, the Giants, we talked about this. What team?
I don't know if he said a contender. He just said he wants to be a starter.
Okay, I'm sorry. Not a contender,
it's okay.
A starter. So let's go over the starting part of where he could start in the NFL.
All right,
we talked about some of these teams recently when we mentioned the franchise quarterback segment that we did recently on One Time for the Fans. So it's like a lot of these teams have their franchise quarterback already, and they have their guys. So who is Kirk going to come in there and replace? You know, and if it's going to be a competition battle for another team, let them have it. I don't need it here in Atlanta. Michael Penix is the guy going forward, but all roads could point to who? The Browns, the Titans, the Giants, the Jets. Give me another team here. Who am I missing? The Raiders. If Geno Smith leaves, the Seahawks. Right?
I think my top 3 picks would be Cleveland Browns, New York Giants, and third Vegas Raiders. Those are the 3 I see.
Somebody's going to pull a move. Remember Phillip Rivers? Somebody took a shot on Phillip Rivers at his age, right? He didn't win nothing. Matt Ryan.
Somebody send him to Canada.
At his age. Huh?
I was read a comment that said send his ass to Canada.
So we can charge him some tariffs. Love it.
Wow.
Love it.
Canadians
love it.
They don't like this. You have an option here, Terry, and I hope you don't wait until after the bonus to, you know, use that option. Make it happen, Terry Fontenot. If he wants to be on a team that he wants to be a starter, that's the hard part. I'm looking at the teams right now. Hold on, T-Will. Arizona, Kyler Murray. Chances of being a starter there, no. Atlanta, of course, no. Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, not happening. Buffalo, Josh Allen, not happening. Carolina, they seem to be tight with Kirk Cousins. I mean, not Kirk Cousins, Bryce Young. Maybe they can look for Kirk Cousins as the backup. Does Kirk want to go play in Carolina?
Kirk doesn't want to be a backup, though. Kirk doesn't want to be a backup.
He don't want to be a backup. Okay, well, get Carolina up out of here because they might stick with Bryce Young. Now, it might be interesting to find out that maybe the Panthers trade for Kirk Cousins and he's the starter and they just kick Bryce Young to the curb. Don't see that happening, but maybe it could. Chicago, Caleb Williams, no. Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, definitely not. They're going to build a statue for him. Cleveland, yes. And that's why Kerry has Cleveland as one of the top 3 teams. Dallas, no. Who else you got? Denver, no. What happened to Jerry?
Hang on.
Detroit,
hang on. Hey, slow down. So we got Cleveland thus far. God dang it.
Sheesh.
Here we go.
All right, we're here. Cleveland.
We got Cleveland.
Yep. Nope. That's a go. Cleveland's a go.
All right.
Dallas,
Vegas.
no. Denver, no.
All right. Vegas, that's 2.
Detroit, no.
New York Giants.
No. Houston, no. The Colts, yes. The Colts, yes. All
right, that's
Anthony
4.
Richardson is not the guy. He's not the guy. He won't be there. I'm telling you right now, man. He was dealing with injuries coming out of college. Now he's still dealing with injuries in the NFL. I don't even know if he's finished the full NFL season yet. But he's having a lot of problems up there in Indianapolis. Jacksonville,
no.
Trevor Lawrence might be sold for at least a year or 2. Kansas City, no. The Chargers with Herbert, no. The Rams, I think they're keeping Matthew Stafford, so no. The Raiders, we said yes. The Dolphins,
they got 2.
You can persuade him to be a backup in Miami if he wants to.
He doesn't want to be a backup.
He doesn't want to be a backup.
No trade clause.
So he doesn't want to be a backup, but knowing Tua's, and I don't want to be rude here, but knowing Tua's situation with him, not protecting himself, sliding on some of these hits or just, protecting himself. Like,
all right, so we're gonna do Miami as a maybe.
I say no to Miami, but
okay, we'll say okay. Kerry can say no to Miami.
I just say no only because I feel as if this is gonna happen like ASAP. Like this is not. We can't wait till Tua possibly goes down mid-season. You know what I mean? I think Kirk is out of here ASAP with this meeting Wednesday night.
You got the Jets.
So let's go Minnesota. Minnesota getting rid of Sam Darnold possibly, right?
But they're gonna play the kid. They're gonna play who they drafted.
So Minnesota's a no-go.
Minnesota's a no-go. They got Drake. Drake.
But are they sold on Drake May?
That I don't know. I don't
Drake
know.
May
right?
Was also a top pick. What was Drake May drafted last year?
He was in the top.
And he was what? Beat out by who? Jacoby Brissett? Is that a Gerard Mayo thing? Is that a Robert Kraft thing? Like, what was that about?
I think he had no weapons, honestly, and I think that's their goal, to make him the starter. He was the 3rd overall pick. I think that's who they think is their future. They got a new coach in there, and they're going to draft wide receivers. Yes. Yeah. Oh, wow. No. Oh, man, I hate the Patriots, but I don't wish, I guess, sure.
And for,
I don't
for the
see
Patriots
it
now, right? If you're not sold on Drake May, you bring in a veteran like Kirk Cousins for a year or 2. If you're not sold on Kirk, you get rid of him. Falcons are paying the tab, and then the Falcons play New England this year, right? So that might be something to look at. You can put you might be able to put a question mark maybe next to New England, but that's just the team I'm just thinking about.
Yeah, to Millie Mill's point, they have Joe Milton there as well. I don't see it, but I get the point you're trying to make. But I think they're going to spend all that money on weapons because he literally had no weapons to throw the ball to.
Okay, here's the cool thing about it. Because we're putting these teams together, you see how we left out Arizona and Buffalo and Chicago? Like, we're on to something. Right, so even if let's just say Miami gets the call tomorrow, right, and they're one of the teams. At least we talked about it, so that's the good part. We're going over the teams here, and Kerry, mentioned her 3, of course. Cleveland, I definitely see that. Vegas, yes. The Giants, that's so tough with that draft pick and everything. Tennessee just been added to the list. Pittsburgh's been added to the list here. San Francisco with Brock Purdy. You think Kyle Shanahan wants to take a shot? You think so?
No, I would say no, but I don't know. What do you guys think? I would say no.
I say no, but that's me. They don't have the money. They're offloading people. They don't have money to pay him, and they got to pay their quarterback. I think we have a good list, honestly, right here.
Can we, if Geno Smith leaves Seattle, which I don't think is going to happen, you could put Seattle on the list, but no. Tampa Bay, no. Tennessee, yes. Washington, no. I think that's your list for Kirk Cousins. And Kerry, if you had to narrow down, we put Pittsburgh. Okay, we put Pittsburgh. If you had to narrow down your top 3, Kerry, and you had already mentioned that. Just going over this list, would you change it now, or are you still sticking with your top 3?
I'm still sticking with Raiders, Browns, Giants. Although I've heard that the Giants and Aaron Rodgers have mutual interest, but maybe they'll have the same mutual interest in Kirk Cousins. Who knows? But we already know that they want a vet QB like Aaron Rodgers. So why wouldn't they be interested in Kirko? The only reason I don't say Tennessee is because they have first overall pick, so they can get a top young quarterback on a cheap deal this draft on a rookie contract. I don't see them personally. But yeah, the other 3, I definitely could see it for sure.
Unless they don't believe in the QBs that are out there in the draft.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
not too QB heavy right here in this draft outside of the top 3 names that we know. I'm going to go with Cleveland.
Yeah, that's a good pick because doesn't Kirk have the previous relationship with Kevin Stefanski as well?
He does. He does.
Yep. So
I'm going to go with Cleveland, the Raiders, and the Colts. One reason for that, Colts, is not only the Anthony Richardson situation, but the AFC South is not a tough division. And if the Colts feel like, hey, look, where are they sitting in the draft this year, the Colts? Because they're not going to select a quarterback. And if they're not sure about Anthony Richardson, if you can get that trade-off to the Falcons for Kirk Cousins, it does somehow put a little bit of a boost in the Colts organization. Here's why. Remember a couple years ago when the Colts had the opportunity to select a quarterback in the NFL draft? What did they do? They brought in Philip Rivers, right? They built around everything else but the quarterback. After Philip Rivers, what did they do? They went ahead and they got Matt Ryan, right? Matt Ryan didn't work out. Now they went ahead and got Anthony Richardson. He's been injured. Joe Flacco has been coming in there, playing off and on. They're picking right before us.
Yeah.
There's going to be no quarterback either. It's probably going to be a defensive player or a wide receiver or an offensive player. I mean, there's only, 2 sides of the ball they can pick. But for Falcon fans, I can see Kirk Cousins ending up in Indianapolis because they've went with veteran quarterbacks in the past. They've tried that move because they don't want to, give up certain picks to go after certain players. I can see the Colts.
That's a good show, honestly.
I seriously can see the Colts. And if you go to the Colts, right, let's just say Kirk Cousins is healthy. You're going to slap up the Jags twice a year. That's a dub. You're going to slap the Titans twice a year. That's a dub. And you're already sitting at 4-0 at least before you get beat up by the Texans.
Right? Eric Parker feels like the Colts are going to go after this guy named Jack Spade.
Oh, shit. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mr.
wow.
Hey, let me tell you something. Any number calling from that Indianapolis area, I'm not answering it. I can tell you right now.
I love it.
Only caller ID I want to see is Flowery Branch.
Love it. Love it. That's a man with his priorities together. Hey, love it.
It's going down in a major way, I can tell you that. But Kirk Cousins is not going to mess up my Friday night. Got some really good games on to go watch and hang out, eat dinner and chill, relax. Atlanta United plays tomorrow. Braves, disappointing loss earlier. I was looking at some of the highlights, like disappointing loss, Braves. But it's springtime, so we'll get it back.
Yeah.
We'll find out, shortly. I'm glad that you guys went live today. Carrie, T. Will, One Time for the Fan, former ITL Sports, because fans are excited about this type of news. Look at the fans in the chat right now talking about Kirk Cousins at 6:19. We was just talking about Kirk Cousins 10 hours ago, right? So for Falcon fans here, what's up, Carrie?
No, what's funny, Jack, to your point? I just saw a picture, a cartoon of like a little guy with the money bag behind him with the bank robber outfit on. And then they quote tweeted the news about Kirk Cousins. And they said, who's going to be the next victim?
Hey,
wow.
Let me tell you something.
Robbery.
It's looking to me like probably one of these teams on this list. And I'm glad we did this once again tonight. Because Carrie, T. Will, we're on to something. One of these teams on this list could possibly be the next destination for Kirk Cousins. If one of these teams is not a team for Kirk Cousins next season and he goes to I don't know, the Chiefs or the Bills, it'll be random as hell. This is so random. I think these are the teams right here that Terry Fontenot needs to be speaking to. And he has his job to do too as well. It doesn't matter if Kirk Cousins went to go talk to Arthur Blank or not. Terry, you still have to do your job. Which means you have to make some calls and, see what you can get for Kirk Cousins. But then it goes to the meetings that that Terry now has to have with Raheem and Arthur Blank, right? Like, this is some behind the scenes stuff. Like, Kurt is not talking to Terry and Raheem. He's talking to Arthur Blank. He wants to get up out of here. Now Arthur Blank has to make a call to Terry Fontenot. Fontenot has to call Raheem. They have to talk about. It's a lot going on. I can tell you that.
It's a lot.
It's a lot going on. But
It's a whole lot.
let's just hope that it's not like major national news, right? Like he ain't out here scamming and scheming folks like some of these other folks out here. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. I just want to just enjoy my Friday night and let Kirk Cousins not mess up my dinner, man, because I think it's lemon pepper wings tonight, so I want to go eat some lemon pepper.
Oh man, love me some lemon pepper.
Yes.
Huh?
Can I also add something? I just saw Diana, what's her name? I'm sorry.
Rossellini?
Yes, reporter from NFL. She quote tweeted Albert Breer's tweet about requesting to meet and successfully met with Arthur Blank on Wednesday night. She quote tweeted that and said, teams that have been interested in Kirk Cousins around the league have been told that Atlanta will not move him. We'll see. Wow.
And that's what I've been saying to you guys. That is exactly what I've been saying.
They really are
oh shit.
Why not trade
That's what I've
him?
been saying. That's
I just
what I've
want
been
to
saying.
hear something from the Falcons journalists on this. Because
we're
not going to treat this like a Lamar Jackson situation. Like this is not, people's out here running rumors. I'd rather hear something from Torrey, Miles.
Miles did report, just basically reiterated what Albert Breer said. Or what's his name? I'm sorry. I don't want to say Albert Breer. He just basically said the same thing, that reported that he said to everyone about the meeting.
Well,
but that kind of sucks. The Falcons are really, I thought they really want to trade him. Maybe they really weren't joking. Like Terry was not bluffing. Like
I
he
love
really
it.
does not.
I love it. I'm so here for
You're
it.
all
Look
about,
here.
I know, but Terry, you're all
Look
about
here.
not having locker room problems. How is that not going to be a locker room problem?
Because let me tell you what this does, right? Let me tell you something about Willie and Georgia Wilson. Okay, shout out to my parents. Love you guys, mom and dad. They didn't play that. Let me tell you something. I came up in the era of corporal punishment. If I'd have pulled this shit that Kirk Cousins pulled, they'd still be kicking my ass right now. Okay? And sometimes you gotta show him you're not gonna get your way, punk. You gotta humble him. And maybe they're trying to leverage this, guys, right? Maybe they're trying to get down to the last step in free agency and get the most for him. Again, if you're gonna trade him, ideally you don't want a 7th round pick, right? If you can get a 3rd round or even better,
you're never gonna get a 3rd round. No,
you might.
I don't know.
You might.
I just don't see it.
You're gonna have another fan base really mad at us because we're getting ready to fleece some team out of some deal.
I think so. I think
we're getting ready to fleece somebody.
Yeah, I think this is all. Really, if you want to know the truth, I think this is all a ruse.
If we can give him $100 million on a contract, we can fleece out a 3rd round somewhere.
Yeah,
4th round.
Yeah, or get the. What if you get a 3rd and a 4th, Jack? Like, what if some team is really desperate?
If you get 2 for Kirk Cousins, we finna have a damn show. We might have to do the damn 24-hour marathon right there.
Look at Lisa. Lisa says he's a disgruntled employee at this point. We need to get him out of here.
Hey, let me tell you something.
This is right, why are you here for this, Terry?
Why?
Why?
Just make sure that Carrie gets her wish, and Jameis Winston does get that call because
I pissed Lisa off. This isn't parenting raising a child, Terry. I know, Lisa.
Exactly, Lisa. Thank you.
Lisa, I had to do the metaphor. I had to do the comparison. Look, I don't want Kirk Cousins here any more than you do. But if you can get a 3rd round or a 4th round, which let's be real, I think that's what the Falcons are doing, right?
I want to know, T. Will, when was the last time a quarterback was like Kirk Cousins was traded for a 2nd or 3rd round?
I don't know, but
yeah, because it's never happened.
When was the last time a tight end was drafted 4th? Oh wait, the Falcons did it. So
we did it, but not somebody else.
So here's the funny thing.
Somebody will do it.
Between us here on One Time and for Mateo Sports, we're not going to get too, political because we don't do that on this channel. But there's a lot of other things that Falcon fans are talking about outside of the Kirk Cousins meeting with Arthur Blank. He also met with somebody else this week too.
Yeah.
If you don't see Kirk Cousins pop out too much, when Kirk pop out, he gonna pop out and show. He gonna show y'all what's up. But there's a lot of Falcon fans in the chat that I'm in right now that is not even talking about the Arthur Blank situation. They're talking about who Kirk Cousins has been hanging around with this week. And of course, you'll see reports and pictures online, but that doesn't determine who Kirk Cousins is. Let's just go over his football career here. Kirk Cousins, he put the season on the line because he didn't want to get benched for a rookie, right? Big veteran, 4,000-yard MVP type quarterback style, Kurt, whatever it was. Not saying he was an MVP quarterback, but he was on the path to possibly maybe getting one day. I mean, he has some good numbers. Don't get me wrong. I mean, he could put up some numbers. But
I'm sorry. I don't want to cope. He's got to go. I'm with Lisa. He's got to go for real.
out.
And I hope it's not true that teams are seriously interested. And, you've got to at least listen to what they have to say. I mean, come on. It sounds like we're closing the door on it.
Value. Carrie, I think they're building the value.
There's no value for Kirk Cousins.
There is if you can manifest it. If you can, look it. If you can manipulate, right? If you can make people think, oh, we are not trading him, right? And so you put it out there that, he's untouchable, it builds the value. So maybe you get more than you would if you're just like, hey, man, you can have this guy for a bag of Cheetos, like my brother just said. You can have him for a bag of Cheetos, or like Lisa said, you can have him for some pink Starburst, right? But if you put it out there, no, we're keeping him. He's going to be the best backup quarterback in the league, right? Dude, look at this list. There's nobody out there from a starting perspective. So if you're going to get a starting quarterback, I mean, you can sign Mr. Aaron, I'm going to get your coach fired midseason Rodgers. You could do that. Good luck with that. You could draft somebody. You could trade up and trade a bunch of draft capital to draft somebody, or you could give up a third this year and a fourth next year for Kirk Cousins. It could happen. What up, Jack?
I'm not going to let Kirk Cousins ruin my Friday night. Because he got $100 million right now. I'm going to tell you like this. Get Kirk Cousins up out of here, respectfully. Let's move him up out to a team that he wants to start for. And let them deal with Kirk Cousins. Let's move on to this guy that we have here who fans are just ranting and raving about. Michael Penix Jr., right? We've seen what he can do the past couple games, the last couple games of the season. Even with the 2 losses, it doesn't matter. This kid, he's something special. I think he can get out there and get after it with some of the guys he has in that locker room. One of the guys that will not be in there is Kirk Cousins. If you can bring in a veteran quarterback who can help, motivate and, of course, coach this young guy, as well as Raheem and the rest of the group, because a veteran quarterback has been through some things, right? We've seen veteran quarterbacks work with younger players, right? I think that's one reason why they kept Matt Schwab around too, as well, with Matt Ryan. They kind of worked pretty well together with, starting quarterback backup roles. Matt Schwab knew and understood that he was a backup, and there was no problem with it. But this guy, Kirk Cousins, from what we've been through the past 2 months with Kirk, well, outside of, the season, the past 2 months, with the offseason, it's just been too much. Falcon fans don't want to hear about it. Every time you hear Kirk Cousins' name, what's going on? It's something that, fans are not too happy about, right? So let's just go ahead and just get him up out of here. You can see from the chat right now, your Eric Parkers, your Lisa Shepherds, your Jay Blacks, they're going to be at training camp. They're on the hill. I already said it on one time for the fan. How are you going to have this man walk over and sign autographs? How are you going to have this man walk out the tunnel on Sunday if, you need him to start in that Benz? The first interception, they're booing you. He's not throwing another pass for the Atlanta Falcons. He should not throw another pass for the Atlanta Falcons. And if he does, then, they have some things to work on. And maybe I need to be in the front office. But then again, we will find out. Hey, what's up, man? We will find out soon what the Atlanta Falcons will be doing with Kirk Cousins. I'm glad Carrie, has gave us the information about that bonus coming up, because Falcon fans, it's very important that the Falcons handle business correctly. Do the right thing, as Spike Lee would say.
$250 a week.
Get Kirk Cousins off of the Atlanta Falcons.
Right, but you got to get the best deal for him, Jack. Like, I hear that, right? And I'm not saying they won't trade him.
If it's a 5th rounder, if it's a 6th rounder, you heard Eric Parker say it. If it's a first,
I'm sorry, T. Will, you're asking for too much. There's just no way.
You can't get this special deal, this rollback Walmart deal on Kirk Cousins.
I think you can.
It's not
I
happening.
think he can.
Okay,
Show
so
me
if
an
it does
example of
happen,
where that's happened, and I'll believe you. It's
I
never
think he
happened.
can.
well,
It's
I
never
think he
happened.
can.
here, Kerry, we'll say this: if it does happen, we both get what we want. Terry gets the
Right,
better deal.
right.
We get Kirk
Yeah.
Cousins up out of here. However you want it, I can't have Kirk Cousins walk out that locker room for OTAs and camp, knowing that I'll be out there. And what I'm going to hear on that hill, I'm going live. I mean, we're talking Falcons football. It's one time for the fan. But I'm telling you, I want to see the team get better. I need to see these rookies, these upcoming free agents that they're going to be, bringing in the building. I don't need to have people on the hill worried about Kirk Cousins. That's the drama we're not trying to have. 53 players out there on the field. I mean, for training camp is going to be like almost close to 90. But they're trying to make the roster. I don't want to sit out there and hear people yelling Kirk Cousins' name all day. Kirk Cousins' name. If he's the backup, why do I have to keep hearing his name? You're going to have fans here in Atlanta calling his name, calling him out, making it an uncomfortable position for Kirk. He already knows it's uncomfortable. That's why he's telling Arthur Blank on the slide, I need to get up out of here. I got to go. He's telling him on the slide. Terry and Raheem, I'm not even going to call him. Raheem, for all we know, remember the Luka Doncic situation with Nico Harrison calling him like 10, 15 times after the trade? For all we know, have we seen the call logs for Kirk? Has Raheem and Terry been calling him every day? 10, 15, 20 times? We don't know. It could have been the 1 or 2 times or a text here and there and then no response. What we do know, and it's reported, that he met with Arthur Blank. He went above and beyond. It's above me now. Remember that thing? It's above me now. He went above Terry to Arthur Blank. And this is Terry's last year of his deal. The quarterback situation has been a problem here. He's the GM. He's been through this with Mariota, with Heineke, with Ritter. What else we finna do now with Kirk Cousins? You started off the year by saying coach said I'm here because of bad quarterback play. You're right back in that situation. Not saying Michael Penix, but you're right back in that situation because of bad quarterback play. But high hopes for Michael Penix. Carries on this what's that thing called? LTP, whatever, BLT. What's it called, Carrie? Oh, BP? Is it BP?
Oh,
BPE.
Big Penix
Stop
Energy.
it. Stop it.
Just
You
say
know what it
go
is.
for it,
You
guys.
know what it is. Stop
I'll
it.
say
Like
this,
you
yo.
don't like you don't know the acronym. Stop it.
Yes.
To your point, Jack,
Have-
I just don't see, to your point, the Falcons run like that. So many times it shows Falcons not about any locker room cancer, and that's exactly what it'd be if he was in the, he'd be like that kid want to fit in the corner. He want to be here, but somehow here because we won't let him free. He's like a prisoner. Falcons, right? Just
And the
here.
funny thing about it is we're talking about who the hell is that? I'm sorry. The funny thing about it is we're talking about the fans. Just imagine what the players are saying to him in the locker room.
Well, they're probably not talking to. But guys, I'm not saying to not trade him, right? But technically, look at the preseason starts in August. You have between now and then to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You're
going to pay him the $10 million to hope to get a third instead of a fifth? Yeah, no. $10 million, I can get you a good free agent. This team has way too many holes on team to just be playing around, playing games to get a third versus a fifth. No, thank you.
I'm telling you right now, if it gets down to the 16th, and he's not gone, I'm getting really worried. I'll be really worried at that point.
Hey man, as long as he's gone, I'm fine. Even if you trade him at midnight on the 16th, I'm good because you're probably going to get the best value. Look at. I'm not saying to not rid of the guy. I'm not saying to not get rid of him, Jack. I'm not saying that. But a part of Terry's job,
we're all agreeing here.
A part of Terry's job is to get the most value for Kirk Cousins. That's his job.
So what do you think he should do? Wait, one more week? Or, he's already said 2 times now to the media that he's happy with him as a backup. I feel like he's already done his part to, play it off as if he's comfortable with him staying.
But I'm just going to say this quickly. I got to make a move. How are you saying you're comfortable with him? I'm talking about Terry. How are you comfortable with him as a backup when he's not even talking to you? right? Like,
Yeah.
how are those conversations? How are those phone calls?
Because
How
they're
are those text messages?
exactly because it's a clear disconnect, and if we're seeing it, so is the national media, so is other
Yeah.
front offices. They're not
Thank you.
stupid. I mean, some are stupid, but
Thank
like
you.
I said, earlier today's show, they're gonna just hope that he gets cut because there's a clear disconnect. Now, two
This
times we've
is
heard from Kirk, he wants to get out of here. Two times
Tell
from
him, Terry.
Terry, he's staying.
Tell him,
So
Terry.
if you're one with a brain, you're not gonna give a second or third round pick for a 37-year-old quarterback who
Tell him,
lost
Terry.
the team the chance at the playoffs. Like, what
Tell
a
the haters,
joke. And
Terry.
then he lied and he's speaking out against the team. Like, he's just literally, you talk about Aaron Rodgers being a cancer. That's what Kirk Cousins seems like he's showing to be,
Agreed.
honestly. So why would you give a
Agreed.
third round pick? Honestly.
Because
No.
you're desperate. Because have you seen the list of quarterbacks that's out there? Because you're desperate.
But they could get
Terry.
him after he's cut. That's the thing.
They may not cut him, Carrie. Look, let me
There's
tell you.
no way he's a
What-
Falcon 2025.
Look,
There's absolutely no way.
Let
No
me tell
way.
you something.
I gotta make a run.
What this shows me, right? For Kirk to be desperate enough to go to Arthur Blank, Kirk is thinking they may not cut me. Kirk is thinking himself, they may not cut me.
I don't think so. I think Kirk wants to get to a team before the draft happens. He has more options now before the draft.
Kirk is thinking like us. He does not want to walk out that tunnel at Flowery Branch for training camp.
Well,
right. Get me out of here.
I gotta make a move.
All right.
Whoever picks up the phone for Terry Fontenot and whatever, hey, Terry, we'll give you a fifth. Do not say no. Just say yes, get him out of here, take the fifth, and then, work your magic behind the scenes on other players and deals and all this stuff. But do not say, hey, I'll call you back. Let me talk to Arthur. No. If they call and say, I will give you a 6, take the 6. Just
right, especially to your point, we only have 5 picks. We need any picks we can get. And to your point as well, there's absolutely no way you can have him on the team in 2025. It's just not going to happen. So at this point, you're going to take what you can get. Every time he keeps speaking out to the media, it's making the team look like somebody's a liar, and you don't want to look like a liar. You just got to cut your loss, honestly. Unfortunately, I hope and pray T. Will is right, but I think it would be, I would not put any money on us getting a second or third round pick for Kirk Cousins. I think that is clear stupidity for somebody to do that.
Look at Jay Black's post. Terry Petty and the I don't give a fuck.
If you can fleece a team,
I love it.
We've seen it. The Bears fleeced the team. They fleeced the Panthers, right? You've seen teams in the NFL get fleeced through trades. If the Falcons can some way find a way to package Kirk and fleece a trade out of a team that we just named on that list, go for it, make it happen. I'm all for it. Like Kerry's saying, if you can get a fucking 9th rounder, take the 9th rounder.
This dude said 9th rounder.
Do it, right?
he said
get the problem off the team. You don't have to worry about it. And then they'll start talking about the dead cap and all this stuff. All right, cool. We'll deal with the money later. But we got the problem off of the team. So now the fans can respond. And what? Everybody's gonna be happy. Who's gonna be sitting there saying we want Kirk back? Name me a fan that's talking about we want Kirk back. I haven't seen a fan say it yet. Maybe there's a couple fans out here that's saying we want Kirk back on his IG page or something. But respectfully and professionally, out of a business, you saw what happened the past couple months. And of course, after the whole, tweet, when that tweet came out about his shoulder, started everything.
Mm-hmm.
His throwing arm. And then they played it off like, it's just a regular walkthrough or some shit. I can't remember what it was. But where it is now, this is it. This is it. He just met with the boss. Right?
The boss.
He just went past everybody else and talked to the boss. You just don't
talk to this guy.
Walk in the room and don't talk to Tony. You just don't go in there and just talk to the boss.
What is he doing? What is she doing?
Open the door with the guitar case.
Open the door. You talk to the boss. It's disrespectful to Terry and Raheem. Okay? To disrespect them like that demands retaliation, and then he's gonna go and talk to the boss. No, seriously, guys, look. I don't want Kirk on this team either.
Kirk probably went in there on some Bruce Willis shit. Kick the door open. Boom. Where's Arthur Blank? You. Hey, Kirk, get out of here. Move.
Oh shit.
You never know what can happen. Karate Kirk. Chuck Norris, Kurt. You never know, right?
He went in there and kicked the door open, Jack. Is that what you're saying?
Just kick the door
Bam! Where's Arthur?
Where's Arthur Blank?
Get him in here now.
He comes out, 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I gotta make a move. Terry and Carrie, they're great. Just for them to even take the time out of their day to come talk Falcons, they're excited about this team. But as you can see, they're locked in. Everything the Falcons doing, people are talking about it. And if we have the time to discuss it on a podcast, Terry's so nice to turn the podcast on with former ATL Sports and spend an hour of his day talking about what? A guy that we shouldn't even be talking about.
Right.
Where's
This
Michael
is big panic
Penix,
energy.
man?
Right.
Talk about these flu games. I got these flu games up here. Ain't nobody talk about these goddamn flu games.
I will say, Jack, you were right. Like T-Will was going to be doing a show today. His third show of the day. You were right.
You called it. You did call it, Jack. You did.
Shit.
You manifested it.
I got a dip. Y'all are great. Don't let Kirk Cousins ruin your day, Eric Parker. Don't let Kirk Cousins ruin your day, Jay Black. Iron Mike, 404 Gaming. Don't let Kirk Cousins ruin your day. Right? Enjoy being a Falcons fan. We're going to have a great time this offseason. Moves will be made. We will be talking about it. Hold on. And if you ever get lonely.
Hey now, Tito.
I just have to ask though. I know you have to go, but I have to ask. Once Kirk is no longer officially an Atlanta Falcon, are we going to podcast or celebrate or go have lunch at Hooters?
Oh, I love it. Either all of the above, Terry. All of the above.
I'm all for hanging out in celebration. Of course, if it's for
just for it to be over,
I'll take a shot. I'll take a shot once the deal is done because somebody's listening.
Okay, me too.
Yeah, somebody's listening to the Falcons fan base. A lot of us want Kirk out the building. Kirk wants himself out the building. What's there more to do? Like, let's just make the calls. Let's see it happen. This is what I don't want. It seems like outside of Terry, who else is calling for Kirk to be the backup? Has Raheem said that they want Kirk to be the backup? Right? Has Arthur Blank came out and said he wants Kirk to be the backup? Like, it just seems to be Terry Fontenot saying that he wants Kirk to be the backup. And Terry's at the end of his contract.
I think he's
like,
just
don't
trying
let
to
this
build
make
the
it or
value,
break it.
Jack.
Huh?
I think he's just trying to build the value. That's his job.
Terry,
his job
don't let
is
this
to build
make
the
or break
value.
your last year. I mean, you have a free agency to go through. You have a draft to go through. Don't let Kirk Cousins sit here and hurt your last year of your deal. Because if you make the right moves, fans are gonna want you back.
If we make the playoffs, he's back anyway, right? I mean, that's how I look at it. So again, I'm not saying I want Kirk on this team. I don't. But sometimes you got to be willing to knuckle up, you know what I mean, to get the best deal. I'm not trading him for a pack of Cheetos. Bump that. No, I gave this fool $100 million. I'm gonna get something.
What Eric is talking about, that's like a 7th rounder. That's your pack of Cheetos,
right? I want at
your
least
pair
a
of
4th.
socks we were talking about.
I want at least a 4th. If it's me, I want at least a 4th, and I think he can get it. Now, if this was a regular year where you had decent talent out there, and you had decent talent in the draft, then I would say you guys are right. But other than a few guys, you really don't have anything in the draft. And you got Bupkus out there in free agency. You might be able to swing a 4th.
You know what this is?
You might be able to swing 2.
This is feeling like Daniel Jones with the Giants. And remember what happened with Daniel Jones? They got his ass up out of there. Giants fans were like, damn, man, we can't have no Daniel Jones up here, man, quarterback, and paid him all this money, and look at his performance. Daniel Jones was horrible. And Kirk Cousins came over here for that 1 year. It's only been 1 year of his deal. And we want him up out of here. So just imagine Falcon fans when they show up to that flowery branch and see him walking down that hill.
No, I agree. He doesn't need to walk down the hill. But I
got a dip, though.
All right, yeah. Jack. Hey, thanks for joining us, buddy. Appreciate you.
One time for the fan. Y'all be
Bye,
great.
Jack.
Carrie, be great. Terry, be great. Chat. Just rise up. Don't let Kurt destroy your Friday night. Go get some.
Hey man, good luck with your games
Not
tonight,
at
Jack.
all.
Yeah, Magic City's open, man. Rise up, everybody.
Oh,
Have a good one.
What's up, Hooters? Have a good one, Jack. We appreciate you, brother. Yeah. Hey, Carrie, look, I'm not saying to not trade him. Okay. I don't want that to
No,
be
I get what you're saying.
understood.
You're
I'm not
basically
saying
saying
that.
hold out till you get what you want. But
Let's
personally, I
let's at
don't
least
think we're
get
gonna
something
get what you
decent.
want. That's the thing. I don't think. But
Well,
I could be
let's
wrong,
get the
but I
best
just
deal we can. Let's get the best deal.
right. I
Because
hope you're
again,
right. Honestly, I do.
well, evidently Kirk has to be feeling some sort of pressure because he wouldn't. Because here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. He's looking worse and worse with every move that he makes. Because just like we're watching this, other franchises are watching this, right? So I mean, you can be a cancer if you want to, but ultimately you're going to lose because the team is going to be like, "Hey, I don't want you coming here." So Kirk, yeah, you can
Right.
do certain things to maybe push the envelope, but you still have to be careful because you're not a linebacker, Kirk. You're not a receiver who's starved for the ball. You're a quarterback or a leader of the team. You have to carry yourself with a certain amount of decorum, right? I'm not going to say you have to be demure, but you have to. I just use that word because my daughter uses it all the time. I thought it was funny. Shout out to Maya. But you have to have a certain amount of decorum. You have to have a certain amount of professionalism and leadership displayed in your actions, and that's not what he's been displaying. Right? He's been basically a little kid throwing a tantrum, and it gets worse with every move that he makes. So, I think this is a situation where Terry is going to trade him. Terry wants to trade him, but Terry put it out there that he didn't want to trade him. So some team in the midnight hour, and you never know, this could go up to draft night. Some team could call on draft night and be like, "Hey, we'll give you, we'll trade Kirk Cousins or whatever." You don't know. Now, I hope not. I hope this does not extend beyond the 17th. Let me be clear. I don't want Kirk on this team no more than you guys do. But I understand what Terry is doing in that he's trying to get the maximum value for Kirk that we can get, right? And I can't blame him for that because, quite candidly, that's his job.
Right, and that's what he should do. Honestly, my thing is I just don't see it happening. I hope he can please some team. I hope he can let Terry cook. I just truly don't see it happening because, look at history. You've never seen it happen before. But like I said, I hope so because I'm a Falcons fan. I want the best for what's best for the team. So shoot, if we can get a second, third round pick, I'm all for it. But I truly do not see that happening. And the more I think about this, I could see us paying him 10 million. As much as this sounds crazy, I could see us playing chicken with Kirk Cousins and paying him the $10 million roster bonus now just to hold out longer with him. Honestly, because I remember with Russell Wilson, they ended up having to get rid of him, cut ties with him in Denver, but he was owed, I think, $30 million roster bonus. Actually, it's 38 million.
Yeah.
So that's different than $10 million. I mean, like I said, $10 million can get you a starter, but 38 million, shoot, that's a really good quarterback's yearly salary, So for me, I don't know. We might play chicken. I'm not really sure how this is all going to play out, but like Lisa said, I'm ready for him to get off the team. Like, I'm just over this whole situation. Why are we even talking about him? He's like the ex. We've moved on to Big Penix energy. I'm not about it,
You know what? That's what I love about you, Carrie. You just don't like conflict. I love that about you.
I don't. I'm just over it. Like, cut ties, but I
I
get it.
love
We
it.
might hold out. I'm just like, we moved on to Michael Penix Jr. Like, I don't know.
I love it. Now, me on the other hand, I love conflict. I wake up in the morning.
Geez.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's
go. Every moment of it.
I am loving this, Carrie. This is like chess. This is like, oh shit. Okay. Even when you hit us up and was like, Kirk went to see Arthur Blank at first, I was bothered because that was disrespectful. But when I thought about it, I was like, oh, this is so intriguing. Like this is just, we're locked in a battle of chicken and wits. Like, I can't. Hey, it's Terry's move, right? I can't wait. I cannot wait for next week. This weekend is going to be so much fun for me. Look,
Right.
I'm not going to be like Carrie and be refreshing every second, but I will be checking my
I don't
phone.
actually do that, but I mean, pretty free. Maybe once an hour. I'm not going to lie. Well, today I was looking for updates, and it kind of makes sense why we haven't seen an update. Maybe this Kirk Cousins thing that happened Wednesday night.
Maybe
they got to figure this out, instead of
Maybe.
making any restructures to any contracts. They've been dealing with the Kirk Cousins situation now.
Maybe. Look, I'm going to be checking my phone, but honestly, oh man, Carrie, the longer this goes, Carrie, if this goes into Monday, we might have to have a show, Carrie. Like we might have
we'll see.
all next week. We might have to do Kirk Cousins watch. Like, I'm so excited.
Lord.
I mean, I don't have I got a show Monday with Jennifer for Atlanta United, but I don't have anything in the day. So, like, contingent upon what happens, I'm gonna be on Kirk Cousins watch. Like, I just I get what you guys are saying. In no way do I want Kirk Cousins on this team. I don't. I want him gone. Like last year's fashion, just out of here, But honestly, you have to get the best deal you can for him, right? You can't just be like, okay, guys, we'll trade Kirk for a set of steak knives and Michelin tires. Oh, yeah, and a well-done steak, which is the same thing as the tires. See what I did there?
Michelin tires? That's too rich. A set of tires will run you $1,000 now. I don't know about that.
I'm just messing with you, Billy
kidding.
Mills. Hey, so when I cracked that well done steak joke the first time, Millie Mills was like, I like my steak well done. So hey, Millie Mills, I'm just messing with you, man. That's a joke that goes way back. That Carrie and I we've been just carrying it on from a previous show. Let's see. Lisa says a fourth is reasonable. I don't see us getting more than that. Let's see if Terry can cook on this hot mess. Yeah, she's right. 3 Dirty. Kirk made the same move. Oh, and Carrie, I'm sorry. You said your phone's about to die. So if you got to roll, I understand. I'm about to drop here in a second anyway, but.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, unfortunately, my phone's about to die and I'm not by a charger. So I'm going to head out. And yeah, like Jack said, I'm not going to let Kirk Cousins ruin my Friday night because it's just not about to happen. It's Friday. I'm happy it's the weekend, So thank you for everyone who jumped in the chat to talk Falcons with us, or mostly, Kirk. But yeah, I'm ready to move on. I'm with Lisa. Honestly, we're on the same page. Like, he's got to go ASAP. I just hope this does not drag on. Oh man, I'm just dreading that if it does. Honestly,
let me tell you something.
Yeah.
You, Lisa, and Jack are 3 of my favorite people. This was so much fun, but I got to be honest. I'm all about the chaos. Okay, so if it does drag on. I want us to get the most that we can for them. But Lisa, hey, tell these folks, not like they don't know, but tell these folks where they can find you. I'm sorry, Carrie. Tell these folks where they can find you. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
I was looking at Lisa's last message. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's okay. I'm a hate Tweet Cousins. I know it's hard not to. Man. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter. This mostly talk Falcons on there. My name, Carrie Lynn XOX, and yeah, you can find me on T-Will Show and One Time for the Fan. I think we're gonna possibly do a show Sunday night, so that worked out. That'll be awesome. And then maybe Monday. I don't know. Depends on how this Kirk Cousins thing is. We might be going live every day.
Well, Carrie, let me tell you something. You know how I feel like podcasting with you. Anytime you want to hop on, Carrie, we can do it. Let's go. It's always. I appreciate it. I respect you as a colleague, and hell, Carrie, in this world, you're one of my best friends. So I got to shout you out. I got to give you your props. Thank you. Carrie is always giving. Carrie gave us this report. How about that?
Yeah.
Carrie called all of us.
I
I'm
did,
glad
because I was like, oh, wow, we got news.
Yeah. I think Carrie was a little pissed. You were pissed when you did that, right?
I mean, yeah, well, that was my initial thought. I mean, it was kind of mixed feelings. It was like, okay, wow, I thought we were really going to cut Kirk Cousins to get nothing. But then I'm like, wow, we actually could pull off a trade now that he, speaking to Arthur Blank and telling him I really want to get out of here. So maybe that's a chance we get something, which obviously that makes me happy. But then I also was like, this dude is shady, because why is he going above the GM and the head coach's head and going straight to the owner? Like, yeah, you're moving shady. He's got to go. So
yeah, I just
thank you again.
I've been no problem. I've been working with Carrie long enough to know her tone. Carrie was pissed when she called us. I don't care where Carrie was.
Right.
This dude. Anyway, hey, Carrie, enjoy your weekend.
Have a good night, guys. Bye. Thank you.
Right. Bye-bye. We'll see you. All right. Hey, guys in the chat. I just think this is phenomenal, man. I think this is, I don't know. Let me read 330's comment. All right. So he says Kirk made some moves that hurt his brand, and I agree with that. The injury compounded it, but Kirk going to Mr. Blank is him trying to put the manure back in the from a future business standpoint. Just by 3:30, I love it, man. 3:30, I love it. I love it. Nate Floyd, Rossini clarified her post by stating the teams have called to see if we had plans to cut Kirk. They have been told no. Trade discussions have been brought up. Okay, so maybe I think they're trying to trade him and get the most value. Lisa says, okay, so we got to cut him then. She says, I'm about to hate Tweet Cousins. I can't blame you, Lisa. I can't blame you. I don't know, guys. Whatever. Look, at the end of the day, we all want the same thing for the Falcons. We want, number one, a great locker room environment. We don't do the negativity here. But I honestly just think that a lot of this is pomp and circumstance. It's for show. I think Terry's just trying to get the best trade he can. Ultimately, I think Terry will trade him. When that is, I don't know. When that is, I don't know. But I think ultimately Terry will trade him. But, I think some of the fun of this is just watching Kirk sweat, because look they say that when you apply pressure to someone, you see what's in there. You see their true character. And Kirk is kind of a shady dude, man. Like he's shown himself to be very shady, very manipulative, and in my opinion, very disingenuous. So I don't mind seeing him suffer. Ultimately, as long as we get the best trade package that we can for him, that's my goal. And I'm all over it. So, guys, hey, thanks for joining me for this hour and 15 minutes. Appreciate you guys. Can't thank you enough. Had a good time. Mike says, bye-bye, lying. Agreed, Mike. Agree 100%, man. 100% agree with you. And I agree with Lisa. I mean, ultimately, I don't want Kirk's ass on this team. I'm just really, number one, having fun. And number two, again, we just want the best package. Like, I believe we can get a third for him. I really do. I believe we can potentially get a third round for him. Now, will we? Don't know. And look, maybe you put a package together with what if you trade Kyle Pitts with Kirk, right? Oh, Terry, you're starting something. You're stirring it up, T. Will. What if you trade Kyle Pitts and Kirk to a team, and maybe you can get multiple picks that way? Who's calling? Oh, all right, guys. Hey, thanks everybody. Appreciate you guys. For those who joined us in the chat, hey, you could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to spend this time with us. We appreciate it. And I will see you guys Sunday on One Time for the Fan, and maybe we'll be talking about a trade then. Brian says, I like that idea. You know what, Brian? I like that idea too, man. I really do. I like that idea. All right, let me decline. I'll hit you guys back later. And Brian, by the way, was fan of the day earlier in the T. Will and Debo Vibes morning show. But I mean, look at guys, maybe we could package something and get multiple picks. Falcons could be working on that too. We don't know. Unlike Kirk, we're not going to put every move out there that we're trying to make. We're trying to be tight-lipped. So they could be, to Jack's point, Terry F. Baby could be working on a trade right now with multiple pieces, right? I mean, look, if you're not going to re-sign Kyle, or I hate to say this, but what if it's a trade for Tyler Algier and Kirk Cousins, which I know, Brian, you're probably not going to like. Nobody's going to like that because nobody wants to see Tyler go. But what if you could get a first, a second, and a third for that, right? Or what if you could get a player to come back and maybe 2 picks with it? We don't know. We don't know what he's working on, but I have a feeling he is working on something, guys. So anyway, hey, thanks for joining. Thank you, God, waking me up today. Appreciate that. Thank you, Jesus. You guys can see me on For My ATL Sports 1. This channel right here. Hey, if you haven't subscribed already, please grab the link and like, share, and subscribe. And look, the more folks that like, share, and subscribe, the more we get into the algorithm, the more we can bring you content like this. So, hey, guys, I enjoyed this. I appreciate being able to fellowship with you guys and talk Falcons and talk a little Kirk Cousins. And, hey, I look forward to seeing you guys Sunday. Hopefully we'll be talking about a great trade in which the Falcons got back a lot and picks that we need. But either way, we'll be there Sunday at 8 p.m. So, hey, man, you guys have a great Friday night. As Jack Spade said, don't let Kirk Cousins ruin your weekend. Whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it. Enjoy yourself tonight. Be safe out there as well. And, hey, man, go Falcons. Last but not least, hey, I got to thank Jack Spade himself and Mr. Eric Parker for giving me my start in this business. And you guys, hey, man, have an amazing weekend. See you guys Sunday. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.